Firstly, Marv, a lovely moment for Graham Carey's partner Rachel. It's always harder when it's close to home like that.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like you said, it was brilliant to have the whole stadium, obviously, giving them minutes applause. And I spoke to Graham, after Rachel passed away, and it's a real difficult situation for him and his family. Just let him know that we're all here, we're all behind him if he needs anything from any of us. But yeah, listen, I think it was really touching for Graham as well, and the kids and the rest of the family to see that minute's applause and let them know how much their mum meant to so many people.
I think fans get a bit of a rough deal sometimes, and some of the things they get up to, but when everyone comes together for when it really matters, they do all sort of back each other, which was probably quite nice to see.
No, it's brilliant to see, as you said. Football rivalries are up and down the country. We understand that, but like you said, when it's something as serious as that could be any of us in that situation, everyone within the stadium was extremely respectful. All the fans clapping, and like I said, everyone clapped for the full minute, and it was loud. So, like I said, our hearts go out to Graham, and hopefully, Graham and the rest of his family know that we're all behind them, we're all supporting them.
It's a shorter week. The guys are desperate to get back and right the wrongs from obviously the weekend against Hearts, just to go one better against Dundee United on Saturday. Yeah,
I mean, listen, if you're in a situation where you're playing top of the league and you're talking about right and wrongs after you get a point, then you must be in a really, really good place. I thought the boys were fantastic at the weekend. Yes, there were certain elements of the game that we could have done better with, i.e. the first goal especially, and parts of the second goal. But in terms of the performance, the attitude and the endeavour from the players, it was second to none. As like I said, you're playing against a team who are top of the league with 6 games to go, really going for the championship now. So, yeah, we're going to the Dundee United game, like you said, a day less in terms of preparation. But the players have been in yesterday and today. And they've worked as hard as we needed them to work. The ones who obviously didn't play worked a little bit harder, and then come Thursday, be all eyes on Dundee United.
Just on training through the week, Marv, you obviously had the open training day. How was that for you and the guys?
Oh, it was good. It was really, really good, and the turnout was fantastic. So first, you have to thank everyone who came down. It was brilliant to see so many young children coming along and supporting their local team. Something that we all love to see, and obviously their parents probably having to have the day off work to bring them down and everything else. So we're very, very thankful for them. Had a little bit of music in the background as well, which was different for the players. But no, I just hope that everyone who did come can see what the boys do on a day-to-day basis. As I said, the boys who started Sunday's game rather did a little bit less in terms of they were probably more head tennis and a little bit lighter on their feet, and the rest of the players really got to work. So yeah, it was really good. Had the training session, and every player went around and signed every bit of memorabilia that every single fan had. So yeah, it was good. Good to see everyone together.
Just touching back on Dundee United, they obviously came here and was probably in the bracket of the poorer performances of the season. Is a good chance to sort of right that wrong.
Yeah, do you know what the thing is? I always say it to you, whether we had a positive result against somebody or a negative result. I'd take the game in isolation. And we're going to go somewhere that we understand that it's a difficult pitch. So to the players, that's not going to be an excuse. After the game, say, we didn't realise the pitch is the way it is. We know how it is. We know the game we're going to have to play. We're going to have to be really, really physical in terms of what we do. We're going to have our concentration super high because there's going to be bubbles within it. We understand all of that. So, yeah, listen, we're going into that game like we do every other game, and that's to try and win a game of football. We understand that Dundee United are also the same as us. They want to win games of football to finish as high as they possibly can, kind of be the best of the rest. So, yeah, we have to put our best foot forward and make sure we're physically and mentally prepared for the game.
It was always going to be a tough game against Hearts. Was there any injuries, concerns from the game against Hearts? Or?
No, everyone's okay. There's a few knocks that you always get kind of post-match. But no, listen, everyone's okay, and everyone at this moment in time is available for the game at the weekend. Obviously, we've got 2 more training days to come where anything could happen. But at this moment in time, as I said, a few boys are a little bit more fragile than others because they've played at the weekend. But no, everyone will be ready come Saturday.
One guy that wasn't involved was Brooklyn. Does that become a bit of a headache with him coming back into contention, or?
No, there's no headaches for me. Ultimately, Brooklyn finds his way out of the team and the squad because he's suspended. And he's available again. So is Macaulay Tate. So, listen, all I can do is put 20 players into a squad, and it'll be the 20 players that I feel give us the best opportunity of winning the game of football. Starters and obviously substitutes. So. Listen, Brooklyn has as much right as anyone else to go back into the team or into the squad, but you have to train well. everyone's exactly the same. Whoever trains well, come Saturday, they'll be in the squad. And unfortunately, if everyone trains well, then I have to make an even tougher decision where I have to leave somebody out who's probably done well in terms of their training in the week. But I always say the same thing to the players: make sure when you get to a Saturday, if you're not in a squad or you're not in the starting lineup, it's on me as a manager and the rest of the coaching staff. And what I mean by that is that you've done everything within your power in that week to give yourself a best chance of playing on a Saturday. And if you're not put in, then it's on me.
Marv, you've obviously seen the fixture split that's came out, that we've got 3 away games and 2 home games, but it's well documented that we've maybe got 4 of the 5 to play at home, but we find ourselves, on the back foot of playing more away games than home.
Yeah, I think if you'd asked anyone about it, and if they looked at the fixture, they'd have been like, right, Livingston are due 4 at home and 1 away, which you're never going to get. So they probably thought we'd had 3 at home and 2 away, but listen, it is what it is. What can we do about it? Not a lot. Whoever decided the fixtures decided that's the best way to go. And listen, I can't really second guess people because I've seen some strange things in my time in Scottish football, and it's probably just another one of those strange things. But ultimately, you roll your sleeves up and you just get on with it because nobody's going to do you any favours, clearly.